Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here. It's been a minute. I'm back home for the holidays, and if you guys didn't know, my team Apex Genesis, I'm currently playing Position 5 for a North American team called Apex. We just qualified to a $1 million tournament with only 16 teams. It's called Fisher Playground. It's going to be hosted in Belgrade, and so I'm super excited. If you weren't aware, hopefully you are now. Hopefully you can support your boy Speed over there at that tournament. I mean, I pray to God we do well. Obviously, it's going to be our first LAN. You really don't know what's going to happen, but we're putting in a lot of work. And what we're going to be doing here today is watching Game 3. We 3-0'd Beast Coast in order to qualify. We played super well. We cheesed them with Veno Jungle twice. This is not going to be a Veno Jungle game. It's just going to be a normal Phoenix Position 5 game, but I'm going to talk about the draft, kind of go into a few of the ideas, not all of the ideas, but a few of the ideas that we had going in here, and kind of just break down what it takes to qualify for a $1 million LAN. And yeah, I mean, this is why I've been slacking on videos. We have been all in. I've been grinding my ass off, watching hours of replays a day, scrimming basically every single day. And yeah, I'm really excited to show this here today. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. Bans, Alk, DK, Doom, Bristle, they really like Bristle. We don't like playing against Doom. This hero is just annoying. They banned Chen. My Chen is OP. This hero is OP. Enigma, which is a flex for our team. And then Morphling. We just played quite a bit of safe lane Morphling on Yamson, and we have a lot of success with it. So pretty straightforward bans, nothing crazy. First pick for the side of Beast Coast, or M80, is Magnus. This hero is super meta right now, mainly because you can flex it between the roles, so it's very difficult to counterpick. It also is super good at scaling into the late game and delaying the game with Skewer on high ground, so it's just an annoying hero in Captain's mode when people aren't going to give up to play against. We go for the Gyrocopter, which is just a very safe pick. It can be support or it can be carry. It has very few bad lanes in either of the roles, and so it's an easy flex pick for us. Nothing too complicated. I don't really think this is some incredible response to Magnus per se. I think it's fine, not great, just fine. But we just wanted the hero. We very much value the flexibility of Gyrocopter, just like a lot of teams do. After that, on 13, we pick up Phoenix. I'm a big fan of Phoenix with Gyrocopter. I think Phoenix's early laning stage is not the best, and Gyro for carries is the best. Like across all matchups, I would say Gyro is the most reliable laner for carries in the early waves. And so he kind of makes up for heroes like Phoenix, where I think Phoenix is just an incredible hero in the game. Great wave shove, farms fast, team fight, good scaling, but those early levels can be a little sus. The early game can be a little weird, and I really believe Gyro can help get you through that. So I love this combo. It's also a fine support duo. It's just a lot of magic damage, but it could lack a bit of stun if it was the support duo. They go for the Willow in response, which I think is fine. It's like an okay hero against Phoenix. Nothing crazy. It's like good follow-up on Skewer. If you RP Skewer someone, you can bring them to the Willow, and the Willow is the highest damage possible in the game. So it's a pretty nice kill combo, easy to execute. Is it good against Gyro? It's okay. So in the laning stage, if you lane against carry Gyro, you can click your W when he clicks Flat Cannon, dodge some of the auto attacks, and that can definitely be useful, but I don't think it's the best, especially considering they know this is almost definitely Pos 5 Phoenix, and I can apply Fire Spirits to the Willow during his W, making it much harder for him to kind of kite me out or trade with me or be annoying. So, I don't know, I think both drafts are fine. They go for a Batrider, which I do like. The reason why I like the Batrider here is Magnus doesn't want to go first. Magnus can go first in the early game, so probably about minute 10 to 15 when you're clicking a smoke and trying to get a pick off, but Batrider throughout the entirety of the game is just going to initiate, go in first, kind of get that initial pick off, and start the fight. It's also going to give vision. Heroes like Batrider and Clockwork give vision by initiating, and that allows heroes like Magnus or Earthshaker to find good openings in teamfights. It's also just a really good laner, and so when you pick Batrider like this, not only do you kind of make up for the lack of first initiation. These heroes, they can do it, but they don't want to. So it makes up for the lack of first initiation. It also allows you to have a very good lane. And so we pick Beastmaster Invoker here. Beastmaster is just an incredibly strong hero in the current meta. There's not too much else to say. Like, Gyro and Phoenix lack a bit of building damage. They lack a bit of objective damage, so Beastmaster kind of rounds that out. It's a frontliner, it's a hard stun. We kind of needed a hard stun, so it gives us a hard stun in the game. We pick Invoker with it, and the reason why we're picking Invoker here is we very much believe in the hero, and Puck was banned out. Puck for the majority of teams is considered Invoker's worst matchup. You can dodge the EMP combo. You have a silence for him. You have coil. It's just a bad game matchup. It's a bad lane matchup. It's just not a good matchup. It's not unplayable, but it's not good. And so we decided to double pick. We could have picked the support here, which is the safer pick, right? Offlaner plus support or mid plus support, and just kind of, I guess, counterpick the bat a little bit. But it wasn't exactly clear, at least initially, what support to pick. I guess if I had to go back and say what would be the most standard, it would definitely be Muerta here. The reason why Muerta would be solid is it's a really good lane against Beast. It pushes Batrider away. It purges Sticky Napalm with the ultimate, right? Muerta's ulti dispels her. It purges Willow's spells that are dispellable, Batrider spells that are dispellable. But most importantly, the calling in this game is great at counter-initiating Batrider Lasso, stopping Skewer on RP, just being annoying to Willow as you could silence her during her W. So I think Muerta could have been a fine pick. It would give us an Atos, which is nice. Again, these heroes kind of lack long-range catch. It's definitely a slight draft potential flaw that we have here, which is kind of lack of initiation or lack of kind of jump. But we're going for strong lanes. I mean, Invoker, very hard to counterpick in lane. Beastmaster, same thing. We know we're against Batrider, which isn't the worst hero against Beast. It's okay, but it's not the best. Beast Coast, I really thought they got us here. We were discussing, we're like, I think I even said, can they play Lycan? And we talked about this. We said, no, this guy doesn't play Lycan. Lycan is good against all of our heroes. It's not the best against Phoenix, and Gyro has a free lane against it, so it's not like hyper free, because we do have Fire Spear's attack speed slow, but Invoker despises Lycan. Beastmaster does not like Lycan. Beastmaster tends not to have the best armor, kind of just get run over. Lycan out-tempos you. It's also a hero that can actually kill supports without just instantly dying to Primal Roar, right? Uni heroes or just illusion heroes, in my opinion, in the game are really nice against Beast because they can poke and get kills without actually dying to Roar. Also, high-range heroes fit that mold, like Sniper. Could have been a nice pick for them here. Was it banned? No. They could have picked up a Sniper here, which I think would have been, in my opinion, Lycan and Sniper, probably the best two picks here. They decided to lock in the mag mid at some point, which, I mean, it's fine. It's like an even lane against Invoker, even though it gets solo killed. It is an even lane. And they go for the Weaver, which is super solid here. The only thing Weaver doesn't like on our team, I would say, is kind of Primal Roar, and Homing Missile. Homing Missile is actually really annoying for Weaver. I actually think Gyro is one of the better carries into Weaver because of how obnoxious Homing Missile is for Weaver. Just tracking him during Sakuchi and providing an eventual stun. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Weaver into Gyro, but it's totally a fine pick. They have two other very greedy cores. You just want a hero that's going to enable these heroes to kind of do their thing, have a good game. You don't need some hyper carry when you have Lycan Magnus at all, right? So you just pick a Weaver. It's gonna round out your draft. And we decided to go for a Rubik, which is not something we play basically ever, but Bignum was calling it. Game 3, frick it. Picks up the Rubik, and sure, you steal Sakuchi, you steal Willow spells, are all very good. And I would say the best two are Sakuchi and kind of Summon Wolves. Summon Wolves are actually really, really good. But the best two are Magnus Q and Sakuchi. So Shockwave. Just in the early game, having double nuke on Rubik is what you want. It is the best way to enable the hero. It allows him to one-shot creep waves, deal out heavy damage with his E, right? The extra cast range and spell amp. And then, of course, at some point, RP is nice as well. You also have Lift against Batrider initiation and Magnus initiation, right? Countering their blinks potentially. The only problem with Rubik that I really was like, is that it's terrible against Lycan. It's an awful hero against Lycan. And so we had a Lycan problem this game. It was definitely a game where if this guy got out of hand, it's scary. I mean, it is scary. It was something I was a little worried about. I was like, this is a free Lycan game. For sure. It's free. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. We would consider banning it with these types of heroes on our team if we thought he played it. So he kind of got caught off guard. I don't want to say he played in a way where I'm like, oh, he doesn't play it. I think his other lanes kind of had a tough time, so he wasn't able to pop off. But let's get into it. So for starting items, nowadays, if I'm playing a universal hero, I really don't like buying stick, even if it's a good stick lane. I just like having max stats so I can trade out the 4, and most importantly, win the small camp. I really put a heavy priority nowadays on just trying to find the D ward as fast as I can. As I find it here, this is something I like doing. If I really want to be greedy and I'm playing on Radiant, I'll ward the hill. I did it this game. I assume they didn't have a hill ward, which is kind of a risky bet, but if they did, this sentry would catch it. And now I instantly get to get the pre-D ward. And what's really OP immediately with this play, this is some high level shit, guys. What's OP with this play is Phoenix 1-on-1 is really, really good into most heroes. You're not very good 2-on-1 because you have bad armor, and you have terrible moon speed. This hero's base stats are very suspect. I think your attack range is also below 600. Yeah, it's 525. Like, Phoenix's base stats, not good. Your damage is, like, okay. Everything else, not good. Like, right here, I was getting a little aggressive, which is pretty standard. Basically, the idea here is when Gyro clicks flak, it puts the range creep in deny range. So I want to use my Fire Spirits to kind of stop the potential contest. We get some good damage on Lycan. And then my main goal was going to be to contest the Willow. Unfortunately, I'm against Lycan, so he's going to be able to block the small camp with a Wolf. There's really nothing I can do about it. Whatever, we get some decent damage on the Willow. For my next items, I'm going to pick up a set of Tangos immediately because I need a lot of regen in this lane. This is not a lane where I'm going to skimp on regen because my main goal here is to stay in the lane as long as possible because my personal concept of Phoenix is to get as many levels as possible. This hero at level 3 and level 5, especially level 7, is insane. One of the strongest pos 5s in the game on its timing. And so my main goal here was to try to secure the pole. I'm playing up with my Gyro, and this is why the Gyro Phoenix is so nice. I don't really want to have to do the heavy lifting in these early levels, right? When my W is on cooldown, I don't want to have to do the work. He's just clicking flak, pushing in the wave, and that's going to allow me to easily fight the small camp. The Lycan was late on the block, maybe a sign of him not being fully comfortable on the hero, because it is a big deal that I have a pole camp. And I probably honestly should have tried to pull it right away. I think I regret it a little bit. Probably not the end of the world, as, yeah, the lane ends up pulling back, as I think I went for a stack. Yeah, and this is nice as well. So, I mean, this plays out, because again, Gyro's such a nice hero to lane with. I get to go for a stack. Lycan does block it, so good play on him there. It's fine. We get, the all chat comes out. We get the Lotus, and yeah, you can see, I mean, we're just cooking up this Lycan. He's getting super low, and it's frankly just mostly the Gyro effect. And really the big thing for me at this point, like a concept that I feel very strongly about, is just buying enough regen. I've bought 9 Tangos at minute 5, and a lot of position 5s still cap at 3. Some, I would say a large majority, will go to 6, but they won't go to 9. And at that point, if the lane keeps playing, especially on a hero like Phoenix that literally takes damage to cost his spells, you're gonna have to go back to base, and I don't want to do that. As I get a nice little kill on the Willow. This is kind of just knowing the timing. Once you hit level 3 on Phoenix with the Dying Light facet, if I'm a little bit low, my one-on-one potential is incredible. This hero one-on-one in most heroes' faces because of the Dying Light just destroys. So I get a little bit of help from the flat cannon, which is nice. Stick on top of him, trying to keep my passive going, and pretty comfortably win the one-on-one. I mean, it was semi-close, but not really. He had quite a bit of attack speed slow, so I think I was fine. And then I ship out a salve. And this all comes into play. The reason why this is like the perfect game. And like this game, literally, I was blessed in this game. I mean, things just worked out. To be fair, a lot of it's practice and a lot of it's good strategy, but things really worked out. So I queue up the salve, I queue up a Windlace. I think I probably ship a Clarity. No? Okay, I kind of wish I did. Let's say find a kill here. I'll go back to that quick. Got the load. Oh, I think I was going to go for the Lotus, but this guy's stepping up. And Phoenix is actually very good against Lycan at this point in the game because it's a Helm hero, and most pos 5s cannot contest Helm heroes. Not well at all. Phoenix is the exception because you have overwhelming magic damage. The Fire Spirits is one of the highest magic damage spells in the game at this point, and so you're actually quite good against Helm heroes because you can pierce through that armor with Fire Spirits. As we get the Lotus, at this point in the game, I'm considering contesting their Wisdom, but I decided not to because I didn't see Willow, so whatever. I mean, I guess I could have, but yeah, I didn't see the Willow, so I secured the pole camp. This was a bad Fire Spirits. You don't really want to use it when they can easily back to the tower. It just doesn't feel very good. So that's fine, continuing to play up. And I had the mindset here that I just wanted to play. I mean, this was kind of a crazy dive, but our Invoker was shifting over, so just a strong movement. A bit forced. It's fine. We kick the Lycan away from the tower, get a lot of tower damage. And I'm like, okay, I'm really close to level 6. At this point, I'm going to full greed. I got a Clarity going. I'm like, yeah, I can get 6 in minute 8:15. So I go for a pull, sapping all the XP very intentionally. It's a little greedy, but it's worth it. And what ends up happening is perfect. Right here, I'm calming to my Gyro. I look top. I'm like, holy shit, they're diving top. I'm like, kill this creep, kill this creep. Because I was 1 creep from 6, and I'm watching this. I'm like, kill this creep. And so I get it. I get my level 6. Get the TP in. Dive. birds onto all of them. This guy didn't have enough mana for time lapse, and with the fire spirit slow, I mean, at minute 8, you know, these heroes get put to like almost 0 attack speed if they're affected by my W. And so yeah, we get a nice double kill onto the Weaver, kill onto the Bat Rider, and at this point, at minute 8:30, obviously because of partially greedy gameplay, but you know, I'm 4-0. I'm level 6 3/4 at minute 9. I get a side pull as well, and at this point, I'm thinking to myself, this whole sequence is really great as well. I'm just so happy about this game, so I'm really excited to share it. But this whole sequence is super nice as well. I have level 3 Fire Spirit, so I'm like, I can easily fight this Weaver. Like, most heroes just cannot fight you if you have this good of a game. And I hit him with the cheeky little Fire Spirit there on the way out, and I'm like, I tell my team, I'm poking this Weaver hard. Like, I'm poking him hard. I hit another one, just reading the shit out of Hector. Cooked him. And now he's like 1 HP, gets roared and dies. Nice dust from Fade. Having dust is really nice there. And we get a kill because of this sequence, which is huge. And all of a sudden, I'm level 7. And level 7 Phoenix can jungle. So at minute 10, where usually you're level 4 or 5, I'm very lucky this game. Level 7. I get to come mid, find a cheeky little kill on Willow. Just easy. We were going to pressure mid tower. And I can jungle, which is insane. Being able to take this camp at minute 10 is so efficient. That's one of the nice things about Phoenix in the mid game. I mean, usually this is something that you're going to do every game, but in the mid game, right? It's not something you're doing at minute 10, but again, it's just one of those games. And typically the skill build that I do not shift from is max E, but my game after 2 points in Q. So you get the doubling damage of Q, and then you max Sunray for the mid game. But my game was so good that I'm like, I'm just going to max the W. Like, I'm just going to max the W. I mean the Q, and really focus on this early game damage on the W. So coming top here, I wanted to secure the tier 1 as I stack the small camp and farm it. And the main reason you can do this if you don't understand Phoenix W is because of the fact that it's a 20-second duration and a 20-second cooldown. So if you space them out, you'll always have Fire Spirits up. So if you're playing a good Phoenix, you'll intentionally use Fire Spirits even when nothing is happening, so that if a fight does break out, your W will end during the fight, and so you'll basically get like 50% or 70% more Fire Spirits because you get 2 sets of them. It's like Ursa's W. If you're an Ursa player, you know what I'm talking about. You have to use the overpower before the fight and during the fight because it's a longer duration than cooldown. And so this was pretty funny. At this point, I'm like, okay, I have a level on this Weaver. I have 1,500 health, and my Beastmaster wanted to roam mid, so the game plan here was pretty simple. This guy's got his helm. He has drums as well. He's going to go pressure mid and just try to fight with the roar, and I'm like, okay, I'll farm top. And so instead of just hard pushing the wave, I'm denying creeps on this Weaver. And he can't fight, and he knows it. Like, there's no way he can fight me. It's not close. Like, Phoenix is this good at this level. Even if, like, he was level 9, he couldn't fight me, or 10. I still would do the same thing. As I cut the wave here, just getting some farm. And at this point, I don't really feel threatened by anything. They kind of can't kill me. TP mid, I thought a big fight would break out. Ends up being nothing crazy, so maybe not the best TP, but okay. It's fine. I'm queuing up a Solar Crest here. Easy decision this game to have Weaver minus armor, Lycan Howl minus armor, his units, Magnus physical damage. It's an easy game to buy a Solar Crest. Plus, this hero loves the armor. You love the mana pool, right? It really helps me with my mana pool because I want to take Seas of Serenity. I want to regen item on this hero if I can. And so the Pavise is just perfect. Maybe I could have bought a Vessel, but I find that item to be very unreliable. And especially against Lycan, I just want to be able to stay alive in the team fights and not have to rush my egg because I'm getting poked by a wolf or an ancient creep, right? I want to be able to survive that go. And at this point, I was able to farm top. And this is just something that, it's just, we didn't plan this. It's just good kind of game sense. Fade's making heavy moves, he's jungling, and I'm taking top. And that's why I think we're playing well as a team. We're very fluid, right? We're very fluid. We're willing to, we don't really see Dota as set roles, right? I mean, we have like certain ideas about like what types of heroes we want, like what heroes complement other heroes. That's very important as you like build a team. I can make a video on that one day, probably not soon. I want to keep some of my ideas to myself, but basically like if he can farm jungle and I'm a farming pos 5, which Phoenix is, I can take top wave. And I'm higher level than I'm higher level than their whole team. We had 4 level 10 heroes. And I'm chilling. Like, the game was chill. I get a 14-minute solar. At this point, we get a wisdom on our beast, so, now his level's starting to catch up. And I think a fight sort of breaks out mid here. At this point, I mean, we wanted to fight. But yeah, they wasted Shapeshift. No problem. My Invis got broken. And we were chilling. Basically, right here, we're like, they can't farm, guys. We're just going to out-farm the heck out of them. They can't make any moves. They basically have to play off an RP, which is pretty difficult. And we start just picking them off around the map. Couple good wards. My Beastmaster solo kills the Weaver. Beast on Fade. The Invoker finds the Batrider. I'm pushing out the waves, so like they don't really see my cores because I'm pushing out a lot of the waves. Gyro's pushing out bottom. I'm pushing out top and mid. I mean, obviously, other people are pushing waves too. I'm not the only one doing it. And we're starting to run rampant on the map. We get a nice hill ward in their triangle, so we can kind of sweep this. Queue up a TP. And in between fights, notice how I'm not just trying to kill people off cooldown. I'm occasionally just killing neutral camps. Because Phoenix just does this. It's just what he does. If nothing's happening, if I don't see a play happening, like, look, we have really good wards. If someone shows on the wards, I will instantly sprint to my team. Until I see that, I'm fine taking stacks. I'm fine jungling back camps. A Weaver ends up running into us. We get a cheeky little Weaver kill. And at this point, I decided to go Shivas again. Same reason as the Solar. They're just heavy physical damage. I think maybe I could have bought other items just to be more tanky in the moment, like a Glimmer to force them to buy Dust. Stuff like that. Maybe make it hard for Willow to get a kill. And the game starts to fall apart for them. At this point, the game plan becomes pretty simple. With Wild Hunt Beastmaster, you can take Roche and take buildings. It's a very natural progression for the hero. I wasted Egg here. It wasn't necessary at all. Definitely a mistake. Fine. A bit of a misplay. And we get Roche. This is awesome. Exactly what we want. Slow-paced game. We get our Helm 2. We get a pick off near the Roche pit. And we actually learned. We played Beast Coast a couple days before this game. Or the day before. No, two days before. And they split pushed the heck out of us when we got into a very similar situation. And we discussed as a team that we would solve this by just kicking up the pressure, right? Instead of trying to chase them, we're just going to really amp up the pressure. And so we got this one wave, and we're just running it down. And this is the power of our draft, right? We have Alacrity, a Gyro, Helm 2, Beastmaster. I got a Solar Crest if we need it. I mean, we just eviscerate buildings. We decide not to commit for the racks. A little bit afraid. I mean, they have two very potent heroes here. They have a Lasso Batrider. They have a Blink Magnus. We have to respect the Skewer. We have to respect the Lasso. The best way we can throw this game is pushing high ground when they are completely ready. The reason why we push here, very specifically, is because they are not ready. We know they are not ready because we are looking at the minimap. It's not hard. Mag shows here. Lycan shows here. White Weaver shows here. Batrider shows top. They're not ready. If Magnus skewers someone here, he's probably going to die. We have Cold Snap. We have Lift. Or he'll just die. They're not ready. And we push so fast. Once the building dies, it becomes even worse. Now they don't have that bonus armor to fight in there. They don't have the tower consistently doing damage. So the game becomes a lot easier. They cut our waves, and this is what they did in the other game, and we learned from this. We just need to stay together. I mean, to be fair, we have a much bigger lead this game than we did in the other game, and so it becomes a much more natural decision to just group up and try to end as we place down a word here. And in this team fight, Lycan had a Orchid, and he tries to threaten me, but there's no mag. They need the mag or the Batrider to be following on this. And then maybe this fight would go okay? Maybe? I mean, probably not. As my Beastmaster converts to creep, a Lift comes out. I didn't even get remotely close to dying. And at this point, the fight is kind of cooked for them. We have the option to just ignore them. I mean, they use Shapeshift. Once Shapeshift is over, they can't fight us. And the game kind of felt over at this point. Not exactly, because again, they have that Skewer. They have that Lasso. You have to be aware of that. But if they don't get like some hyper value, then it's not going to work. We place a top ward, we see this Lasso coming, and this was, all these little things add up, right? If we want to push top, I can get down this quick ward. I know it's going to get dewarded, but it's a counter to the Magnus and to the Batrider, where we can react much quicker if we see them trying to jump, and we get a Cold Snap onto the Batrider, slows down his ability to kite in, and he ends up dying, right? So now the game, I mean, they're just collapsing. I think mentally they're probably checking out here. They're down 2-0. They're down 12k gold. We're taking their racks. I mean, nothing's kind of going their way. And yeah, in this team fight, I mean, I'm just not rushing the egg. I don't have my shard, so I didn't feel like much of a need to drop it. The Phoenix hero plays pretty straightforward. You're just focused on clicking W, and eventually when you have your shard, you click Sunray, and then you click egg, and you get the Sunray during the egg. And that's super nice. I even probably should have bought it. I hate playing this hero without shard. I basically always essentially every single game I like just buying one item, whatever my item is for the game. It could be anything, because this hero really can just buy anything. And then I'll buy Shard. If I don't get it from Tormentor, you pray you get it from Torm. If you don't get it from Torm, you buy it. And sometimes if you're super farmed, you just buy it. Like this game, I could have just bought it, because it is that good. It really allows you to just kind of get out damage during the egg, and it makes it really hard for people to kill the egg, because you're killing them with one of the highest damage spells in the game. And on top of that, it applies the mischance, right? That's Phoenix's innate, where Phoenix applies a debuff, 2% mischance per second. So if you hit people with spells, any of your spells, it applies mischance. And so, yeah, the Sunray counts, of course. And so it makes it harder for people to kill the egg. But we're closing on the Shivas at this point, going together. I got the Shard from Torm, so my net worth must be insane. Oh my god, it's so high. This is literally the perfect game. I got blessed this game. I got hard blessed this game. And, yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, they don't have a play. It's 21k lead. I almost have a Shivas completed at minute 22. This is like offlaner levels of farm. All we had to do was not get multi-man RP'd. So we're playing back. I even popped the smoke. I mean, it's kind of do or die for them, so I'm going to use my last smoke. I don't like using smokes like this if I don't have to, but it's for megas, right? They have to fight us. They don't fight us, and at this point, I felt that the game was over. We decided to play it safe. It's game 3 for a qualifier match to compete in the $1 million tournament. We're gonna make like the ultra safe move. You know what I mean? Just like don't get lassoed into their fountain. Take a fight outside the base. And to be fair, this is a good strategy for pubs, guys. If you want to know how to end games, you want to bait the enemy team to fight you outside of the base. And the way you do that is simple. You just leave their base and you say, we're going to farm. And if you don't come to us, we're going to out-farm you. That's how you go about it. Oh, what a tornado. Damn, that was insane. Sunray also just cooking up the Lycan. His ability is insane damage. And they call it. So, yeah. Thank you guys for all the support. I'm sorry I haven't been posting lately. I do feel bad about it. Like, I think about it every single day. I'm like, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a video. And then it's like 11 p.m. I'm like, oh, I've played like so many pubs and scrims and replays. I'm like genuinely drained, but it paid off. And so, yeah, thank you guys for supporting the channel, supporting me. Part of the reason, I would say the biggest reason why I'm able to chase this dream and afford rent is because I'm able to make videos on this channel, right? So I'm really lucky in that regard. And I'm definitely grateful for everyone who supports the channel. I've received a lot of messages from you guys through Discord or Steam, congratulating me and just like saying very kind words lately. So thank you. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.